The demonstrations over the Foreign Agents Bill have been full of vivid moments. Competing visions of a country's future, literally clashing with each other. One of the focal points, the Georgian Parliament, Rustaveli Avenue, Tbilisi. The fulcrum of a country, seesawing between Europe and now Russia. All the fury that's been directed at this building because of the Foreign Agents Bill. But the question that keeps niggling is, why are the ruling parties so hell-bent on pushing this legislation through in the face of mass demonstrations, in the face of possibly jeopardizing EU membership? Is there more to all of this than meets the eye? The real seat of power here is up in the hills overlooking the city, one of the homes of Georgian oligarch Bitsina Ivanishvili. This is the glass house built with millions made in Russia, where he grew the Georgian Dream Party from seed. Ivanishvili is an enigma. Depending on who you ask, Putin puppet, pragmatic man of the people, knows which way the wind is blowing. And for him, for now, the wind is blowing from Russia. Gia Kukashvili was Ivanishvili's advisor when he was Prime Minister in 2012. While all the attention has been on the Foreign Agents Bill recently, he wants to talk about tax. Last month, Georgian Dream MPs passed an amendment to the Georgian tax code. It meant that very rich people could transfer their assets to Georgia without incurring any tax. While no one stormed the parliament, for this former advisor, it's all about what he calls Operation Ivanishvili, to create a tax haven in Georgia for Russian money.
აქედან გამომდინარე, ბიზნესმა დაინახა შესაძლებლობა, რომ შესთავაზოს კრემლის სალაროს, რომ ეს აქტივები გადმოფორმდეს საქართველოს იურისდიქციაში გადმოვიდეს და ის აძლევს პირობას, რომ აქ ისინი იპოვიან ისეთ სამოთხეს თუ რაღაც ისეთ ძალიან მყუდრო სავანეს. ეს შესაძლებლობა დაინახა და დაიწყო აი ეს დიდი ოპერაცია.
According to him, that's one stage of the operation. The other stage is making sure that Ivanishvili's political system is secure to act as a sort of safe for all that money, no questions asked, which is where the Foreign Agents Bill comes in.
ამას რა ჭირდება? ამას ჭირდება პოლიტიკური სტაბილურობა, ხო? ანუ გარანტორი თუ არის ბიძინა ივანიშვილი, შესაბამისად ბიძინა ივანიშვილს უნდა კონდეს იმის რესურსი, რომ ეს მისი პასუხისმგებლობა აღასრულოს, ხო? ამისათვის ის უნდა იყოს მუდმივად ამ ქვეყანაში, არ უნდა იყოს ამის კრიტიკა, არ უნდა იყოს ამის ძიება, ანუ არ უნდა დარჩეს ქვეყანაში არც ერთი ინსტიტუტი, რომელსაც ამასთან დაკავშირებით გაუჩნდება კითხვები.
So in other words, his thesis is this. Ivanishvili wants to make it easy for his oligarch mates to move their assets to Georgia, and he wants to guarantee the safety of those assets in a country where annoying journalists and anti-corruption groups won't be asking awkward questions. We've tried to put all this to Ivanishvili, but being a reclusive oligarch, we haven't heard back from him yet.
Gosh.
During the week, we've met several critics of the government who've been attacked or intimidated by people they describe as Georgian Dream thugs, something the party denies. Yesterday, we spoke to Professor Joseph Berekhashvili. He was fired from his university job as Dean of Economics just a few days ago. He says a call was made to his boss. Like, did somebody actually call your boss and pressurize him directly?
Yes.
And
yes.
Who called your boss?
State Security Service of Georgia. He told so.
Okay, your boss said.
Yeah.
So why? Berekhashvili has always been a vocal critic of the government, but in the last few weeks appeared on Georgian TV shows to talk about a certain policy specifically.
I think that my comments on TVs about so-called, we call it offshores law, which is actually amendment to the Georgian tax code. My comments about this was the trigger, I think.
His working assumption is that with sanctioned Russian oligarchs finding it harder to move assets around because of the war in Ukraine, this new tax policy is a gift for them. At all the demos this week, the Georgian national anthem is followed by Ode to Joy. For the more mature demonstrators all the way down to the younger ones, this place is not a tax haven, it is home. And for them, that should be in Europe for generations to come.